we must rethink everything we know about our identity as a species. As you have heard in the abstract of the scientific study talking about cellular memory transfer between heart donor and recipient, you need to understand what a cell is and how our cells stock and transform information to and from the field. Think of everything in existence as a gigantic Russian doll, with each level of consciousness represented by the dolls within the main one. We are all the way at the bottom, the little doll. Or think as a gigantic cosmic body with gazillions of cells holding the holographic blueprint of life. Our universe is a cosmic body to us and a cosmic cell within the greater body. Other universes, what we call the multiverse, are alongside our cells in this greater body of life. The galaxies in our universe could be seen as the organs and the planets as the cells of this universal body. If our planet is a cell in a smaller body, our material universe, the planet itself becomes a body to us, and we its cells alongside other forms of life. Now, cells by their embryonic nature cannot and do not see nor are aware of the whole body until they come of age, until their time of self-realization and self-actualization. They carry their role in a sequence meant to keep the body functioning. They are the little workers, very intelligent as to their task, but oblivious to the greater forms than themselves, the organs, for example, which they serve. To put this in perspective, imagine telling your cells that there are bigger and more intelligent forms within your body, that you are the boss of them all, you are the daddy, the god of this universe, and they are all working for you. The cells won't believe you. To their mind and level of awareness, nothing exists outside their microscopic world. Humans have the same myopic belief. We think we are the only and the mighty in the universe. We don't see and are not aware of the whole planet, let alone the universe. NASA, with all its technology and the best scientists in the world, has admitted to have only discovered about 5% of our universe, which corresponds with the 5% brain capacity used by humans so far. Neither are we fully aware of our full micro-universe, what we call us. We are only aware of the part that has managed to self-actualize, and only to that extent. Now, this is what Self meant in the book when they say that in order to see, you must be aware of what you are seeking. If you don't know, or at least conceive that there are more things than what you know and what meets the eye, you won't know what to look for, where to look for, and even if they were in front of you, you'll have cognitive blindness. You won't see them because they're not part of your mainframe of perception. The cell, from micro to macro, from the cells in your body to the universes in this cosmic body, goes through 3 stages of development: the micro self-awareness, the I, the mid self-awareness, the we, and the macro self-awareness, the holographic awareness of being an indivisible part of a much greater whole. At that moment, the cell reaches its spiritual maturity, or what we call self-actualization, and can tap into its inherent potential. At that moment, the cell can self-activate in whatever form it desires and enters the intelligent life endowed with free will. Bear with me, I know it's a lot, but it will make sense soon when I will make it relevant to our life. In the first 2 stages, the micro self-awareness, the I, and the societal awareness, the we, the cell is introduced to the notion of polarity. And the lesson of this developmental stage is to learn to peacefully coexist, not despite, but thanks to our polarities. And to help us do so, we are helped by other cells, our tormentors, our enemies, that will force us to reach deeper within and unify our dark and light sides. Look at it from your body point of view. Your immune system will not develop if you wouldn't be challenged by viruses and pathogens. The more you expose it to environmental adversities, the stronger it gets and the more information from the environment it can contend with. The more you can contend with, the further you go and the more aware you get of what's out there. And the more you know, the less afraid you are. And when fear is out of the picture, and fear comes from ignorance, you'll finally start seeing the forest from the tree, the bigger picture of both creation and evolution. This is the purpose of our painful experiences here, to train us to achieve homeostasis within our inner polarities, the good and the bad, the demon and the angel. Once we have achieved personal homeostasis, the second stage is that of achieving social homeostasis, when each individual becomes aware that you are cells of the same social body, each responsible for keeping the body alive and well functioning, the same way the trillions of viruses and bacteria cohabiting with you in your human body coexist peacefully with you in your mini universe. And when we have achieved that, the third stage is that of reaching universal homeostasis with other beings in the universe, then the multiverse, until all cells become aware of the bigger body, or all dolls become aware of the big mummy doll, culminating with them becoming aware not only of being part of the same cosmic body, but of being the cosmic body. What Buddhists call the Bodhisattva and the Christian refer to as the Christ consciousness. That's why you don't see aliens, and that's why they don't land on your front lawn to prove to the ignorant human that they exist. You haven't reached planetary homeostasis to be aware of and coexist with other cosmic cells, not to mention with other dimensions outside the material universe. This is as big subject as life itself, but for our purpose, we need to build a scaffolding within which to build your knowledge of self. You need to have the basic information to be able to put life in its right perspective, for you to get out of your conditioned perception, out of your illusion of separation and self importance. Unless you have a basic understanding and a rough map of existence to know how much more there is in front of you, outside of your miserable human condition, you'll be stuck in a wrong paradigm of trying to heal your trauma, your injustices, beating around the same old bush when all that was part of your training in awareness, of you developing your cosmic immune system to be able to survive in other environments, in other dimensions of self. That's why you keep reincarnating on Earth as humans too. The NASA recruit can't go to Mars until they've passed with flying marks their training program. You can't be a cosmic traveler when you can barely survive your human experience. It makes sense, yeah? It sounds complex to begin with, but once you've wrapped your mind around it, it's quite simple. I suggest you listen to this part and meditate on it until you have metabolized it. So, to recap, the three cellular developmental stages are micro self awareness, the I, mid self awareness, the we, or the societal awareness, and holographic awareness, the I and we unified into a collective consciousness while still being able to experience an identity. This is the hive mind civilization level. And there are higher levels, but it won't make any sense to us until we have fully integrated the level 3 of human consciousness. So I'm going to keep it relevant to our human life here on Earth at this present moment. Now, why should you bother with all this? You don't need to be spiritually inclined to benefit from it. From a purely pragmatic point of view, by you understanding that you are a cell in a bigger body of existence and that your experience here is conditioned by your interaction, conscious and unconscious, with the rest of the cells, it's worth its weight in gold. It saves you a lifetime of disappointment and therapy, not to mention the unnecessary reincarnations for you to get the memo. Once you understand that we may be 8+ billion people on this planet, but each is a cell at a different developmental stage, your life will change forever. You will no longer get sucked in drama and waste time trying to change people that can't change, or take things personally. You'll recognize your level and your needs as well as those of others, and you'll be able to integrate your polarities, reach your homeostasis, so you could move to your next developmental stage. If you're working with people, it will help you identify those that you are best suited to help and what category of clients you should stay away from. Knowing how people work based on their level of awareness, it's one of the most important skills to have. Not to mention that this knowledge was given to us at this time because you are ripe for it. And before we move on, I want to make clear that the categorization of people on the level of consciousness is not made from a judgmental or disrespectful position, but on a factual scale with respect for all levels of consciousness. Describing the behaviors and characteristics is not equal to judging or guilting someone for their developmental stage, but we need to be aware of them to understand why not everyone responds to the same treatment or effort to communicate with. With that out of the way, let's see what these consciousness developmental stages are for you to identify your stage, your purpose, and your lessons.